Adar marks the Hilula of the 13th Rishon Lezion of Jerusalem, chief rabbi, let's just say in of itself. His name was Rabbi Yom-tov Algazi, Zecher Tzadik Libracha, one of the great rabbis of his time. He passed away in 1802. That was naturally, he was about 75 years of age at the time he passed away. I believe he was born back in English year 1727 in Izmir in Turkey. Remember, that had a great Torah Jewish community in of its time. In of itself, he was one of the students, let's say, a student of Rav Yonah Navon and Rabbi Shalom Sharabi, the Rosh HaKadosh, one of the great rabbis, famous rabbi of Yeshivat Bet El, in of itself, and came from great rabbinic auspices. His father's name was Rav Yisrael Yaakov Algazi, another great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. Now, it's actually interesting. Rav Yom-tov will become the 13th Rishon Lezion. I think he will be the Rishon Lezion for a staggering 30-year period between the year 1773 till 1802. He will actually be sandwiched in between two other Rishon Lezions, Rav Raphael Moshe Bola, and Rav Moshe Yosef Mordechai Yuchas, two very great rabbanim of his time. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great Rabbi Slavics. Very much, he was one of the famous rabbis, let's just say, worldwide in the 1700s in of itself. Now, I believe, there was differing opinions on, I believe, the exact time period he would become the Rishon Lezion. I hear from one place it was from the year 1773, but he was also apparently reported over in the year 1776 was appointed the head judge, the Rosh Abedin of the Jewish court of Jerusalem. Very prominent, great position to be the head judge at that point in time. He was one of the main students, as we said before, of the Rosh HaKadosh, Rabbi Shalom Sharabi, who was the famous Rosh Yeshiva of the famous Yeshivat Bet El after Rabbi Gedalia Hayon. He very much was part of that. He was actually, the Rosh HaKadosh was a Chatan of Rabbi Gedalia Hayon. Let's just say one of the great rabbis of Jewish history himself. Now, he was a member also of the Avat Shalom group of Kabbalists and signed various different articles of association, especially in the years 1754, 1758 and 1759. He was a member of the famous Beit Midrash called the Neve Shalom and of Yeshivat Bet El of Rabbi Shalom Sharabi. Very interesting enough, who Rabbi Algazi's father, I believe, was head of the Kabbalah of the yeshiva in himself. And Rabbi Yom-tov Algazi will administer it at one stage in time. Once again, a lot of responsibility and very prestigious role. I believe following the Rosh HaKadosh's, when he passed away, Rabbi Shalom Sharabi's death, I think that was in the year 1782, he was elected as a rabbi and a dayan over there also as well. Remember his other positions he had. And he would become the Rishon Lezion. Differing opinions. I see somewhere it says 1773 he was the Rishon Lezion, but I see from somewhere else maybe it was a window of time approximation of that in of itself. The period of his office, it was difficult for the Jewish community in Jerusalem at that point in time. Obviously, there was a lot of anti-Semitism all throughout the Jewish history in of itself, and there was problems with the authorities throughout. But he had a leadership of made huge influence, let's just say, within regards to the diaspora in of itself, and would help the community. And there was a correspondence with the various diaspora community, which was very influential. I think come with the year 1764, for example, he would accompany Rabbi Avram Asher, another great rabbi, and Rabbi Azulay on a mission on behalf of, I believe, reported over the Pekidi Eretz Yisrael Bekushta, the agents for Eretz Yisrael in Constantinople, if I'm not mistaken. I think he would go as a Shadar, as a Shluchei Rabbanim between the years 1770 to 1775 at different stages. He would go from Jerusalem to Constantinople, Adrianople also, and to Belgrade at that point in time. He would take on various different positions there. He would travel also to Italy. He would also travel to France, the Netherlands, also to Germany and Poland, and would eventually return to Jerusalem, I think, while stopping off also in Italy and Smyrna in itself. So very, very well traveled also, and well communicated. I believe he would appoint his son Yaakov, Rabbi Yaakov, as a parnes of the Hebron community. Remember, Hebron is one of the 4 holy cities of Israel, along with Tiberias, Tzfat, and Jerusalem. And that was in the year 1787. I think, unfortunately, there was troubles, finances in the different holy cities in Israel, especially in Hebron, in the year 1787. So Rav Algazi and his son, I think between 1793 and 1795, would try and grapple with the situation to improve, let's just say, the financial status and the wealth status of that city in of itself. I believe, unfortunately, there's anti-Semitism all throughout. the authorities tried to cause him, let's just say, in of itself, various different agitations, let's just say. And reports over the creditors would become violent. And he suffered a beating. It was reported over, I think, come on, 1795, Rabbi Algazi went to Constantinople over there, and in a successful 3-month period, he would, let's say, collect a large sum of money for the city of Hebron so that they would prosper again and the Torah will flourish at that point in time. So that's what was reported over. And it's actually interesting. He would do this large collection, let's just say. He will also travel to Smyrna and Salonika. I think he will return to Jerusalem. Sadly, it was reported over in 1796 his son passed away. And unfortunately, I think through the beatings he got. So just see how bad the anti-Semitism was all throughout. He would bring about some brilliant different Torah works in of itself. And let's just explore it, including the Hilchot, Yom-Tov. I think that was actually printed by the Vilna Talmud in of itself, and the Hilchot, the Chorot, the Hala, which was Nachmanides' teachings. I think a manuscript that was found in Italy in the year 1795. Then the Simchat Yom-Tov, which was a responsa in 1794, and the Kedushat Yom-Tov, which was on the sermons. I think that was maybe printed, I'm not sure if it was after he passed away, in 1843. The Get Mechushar, this was a studies of marriage contract, which also was another great Torah work in of itself. And a lot of his works was distinguished with sharpness and, let's say, great depth in of itself, which was absolutely phenomenal. He wrote a few books also on Jewish law, I think, and naturally he was buried in Har HaZeitim at the end, the Mount of Olives burial plot, as on the specific year, I think in the year 1802, at the start of the 19th century, respectively. Remember, I think his official tenure as the Rishon Lezion was a 29-year period between 1773 to 1802. So that made him one of the longest-serving chief rabbis in Israeli history, also, which was very, very prominent in of itself. And we have to point out now, among his family, we mentioned before, his father, Rabbi Yisrael Yaakov Algazi, was a great rabbi. I think Rabbi Moshe Yosef Mordechai Miuchas was very much connected to him through marriage. Also, he happened to be the author of the Sha'ar HaMayim, a book, and he was also appointed the Rishon Lezion after him, I believe, which is just shows the great positions. I think it was his Chatan, if I'm not mistaken. That was a position. Another one of his family members, Rav Shlomo Hassan, another great rabbi. There was a famous philanthropist, Rabbi Nissim Parachi, who was another great rabbi. I think his son, Rabbi Yaakov, also was. I think there was a close relative also, if I'm not mistaken, that was held in hostage of some form in of itself. I'm not too sure. We'll leave that for another video with regards to that topic if we go to a historical video in of itself. But there was many great descendants he left over, and much great family that was connected to him. So don't forget to light candles in his memory. He on a Bet Adar, I think it was Bet Adar Aleph, I'm not too sure if it was a leap year, that specific year in of itself, where he passed away. Friends who were community here, we're learning about great Oriental rabbis of yesteryear. We've already covered nearly 750 rabbis. If you happen to be related or descendant from any of these great rabbis, please send a comment over here. Please subscribe to the channel. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos, share the videos to other people. So wishing you all a fantastic day, and watch over the previous videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Wishing you great